There's millions of alumni walking amongst us every day. They'll smile in your face, joke with you, and may even be in your own family, but they'll hold on to their secrets. You'll never know what the next person is actually thinking until they lift their voices. Whether you are in college or have family members in college, they deserve to know the truth before making a decision. Please be that voice and like and share this video. And remember, you are not alone.
In 3 weeks, students at University of Idaho were left with an unsettling discovery. Dead coyotes were left at the doors of several sororities and fraternities, including here at Pi Kappa Phi.
It was 1:34 in the afternoon Sunday when Pullman paramedics received this call.
Paging Pullman ambulance for an unattended death, 624 Northeast Cooper Way, Durham Hall 613.
They found 19-year-old Luke Tyler unresponsive in a dorm room. Paramedics unable to revive him.
Pullman Fire Unit, we are attempting CPR at this time.
Tributes are pouring out for the WSU student, friends describing him as kind and sincere, the life of the group. WSU police are investigating the death, and Chief Gary Jenkins tells Creme 2 at this point they do not suspect foul play and have not applied for a search warrant for the 19-year-old's dorm room and personal belongings. We don't know who discovered the body or called 911.
Years since Clemson student Tucker Hibbs died after going on an early morning pledge run with his fraternity. The coroner says he died from a head injury after falling from a bridge. And his parents, Cindy and Gary, believe that it was hazing that was involved, and they feel criminal charges should be coming. But those have never been filed because no one has come forward after all of this time and all of those people there.
The town of Moscow, Idaho is home to over 25,000 residents and students. It's a town full of parks, arts, small businesses, and the main source of its revenue comes from the University of Idaho. According to reports, it's ranked number 1 and accounts for 27% of total county employment, while the second-ranked employer is a medical center at just 4%. However, the University of Idaho refused to disclose the amount of money they receive from the Greek Alumni Association. The small businesses in the area also rely on the college traffic to keep their businesses afloat. According to an investment analysis for Idaho State Board of Education, they demonstrated that colleges and universities are a strong investment for all 3 major stakeholders: student, taxpayer, and social perspectives. In order to attend the university, you have to pay for tuition, fees, books, and supplies, and will have to take out loans and pay interest on those same loans, totaling the amount of $997 million in the fiscal year of 2019 to 2020. In return for their investment, they are told that they will receive a stream of higher earnings that will flourish in the future. However, the majority of college kids today are struggling financially due to student loan debt and looking for affordable rent. Many are forced to move back in with their parents and are called boomerang kids. A boomerang kid is someone who leaves home to go to college, then comes right back home. Even one psychotherapist, Stacy, saying, "I'm seeing more of that than ever before." A full-time student in Idaho, cost of attending college in state is $8,396, and out of state is $27,632. Now, if you join a sorority, that will be an extra $3,900 per semester and $3,400 for fraternities per semester for tuition. Then you are required to live in the sorority house, which is an extra $3,700 to $5,700 per semester. So at a minimum, you are paying an extra $7,600 for Greek life, not counting the fees and hidden costs such as ticketing, clothing, transportation, food and alcohol, sorority clothing colors, shopping to maintain your appearance as per sorority standards, and more. Fines are split into 2 categories: general fines and alcohol fines. It's almost like they're expecting to make money off you drinking. General fines are failing to keep up to date with health and safety programs, meetings, and scheduling. The alcohol fines range from $25 to $1,000 for each container that contains alcohol on any chapter property. Within the IFC risk management policy, each chapter is allowed 20 wet events per semester. Wet events are defined as any event where alcohol is present. Dry events are events without alcohol. Now, there are currently 29 chapters at the University of Idaho. I broke it down, and that would mean each student is allowed to attend 5.5 parties a day in a given 16-week semester. It seems to me that they party a lot, which could explain many of the noise complaints and alcohol on the body cam footage. It's prohibited for sororities to have alcohol at a party, and the only way they can organize a party is through the fraternity. Therefore, they need a man to approve it before throwing the party. In the event that the fraternity declines their request to host the party, the sororities are still allowed to go to a party and drink alcohol since they're not technically hosting it. According to the Pan-Hellenic Council Crisis Plan, in the event there's a death in the community, it states that chapters do not announce the death until you have coordinated a plan of action with your chapter advisor and the Office of Fraternity and Sorority Life. The plan of action needs to include meeting to inform chapter of loss, how it will be shared with the rest of the community following the chapter meeting, then goes on to say how resources such as counseling will be provided. Could this explain the roommate's behavior for calling the fraternity before calling police? Also, when the murders happened, many kids were fleeing the campus. According to the school's president, Scott Green, they feared for their safety. Could this also explain the pressure to grab someone up for a murder prematurely for the sake of keeping the town afloat? Being that the major source of revenue is from the college, that idea doesn't seem too far-fetched. Now, Steve Gonzalez stated that it seemed like they were trying to suppress the story. Why would they want to suppress a story? Could it be that they're more concerned about the town than justice for the 4 victims? What could that mean for how they are handling the case?
The investigation. But recently, I've been watching and talking with you, and you're getting frustrated. Where does that frustration come from, sir?
They put certain people between you and the officers that are making things happen, and those people are like lawyers, and they don't want to say anything, and they don't have the guts to come up and be alpha and be like leaders and say, hey, we might say something that's wrong, we're going to take that hit. So the officers, they look me straight in their eyes. The lead detective looked me in his eyes. I have no doubt he's working as hard as he can, but somebody isn't communicating. There's nothing being released. It seems like they're trying to suppress the story. We want to put rewards out there, like, don't do that. Yeah, I get it. Your town doesn't want to have reward posters posted all over when you come and you do your rush. You're not going to get a lot of students if they see those things. But this community is not going to heal until this guy's pulled off the streets.
Now, there was an associate dean of students named Craig who was employed for 5 years at the University of Idaho from 2010 to 2015. Once the present dean of students retired early, the associate Craig was promoted to the position in 2015. Now, the dean of students' job is to provide safety and support to students, student housing, fraternities, and sororities. However, after 3 months in the position, he quit. Craig stated that the safety of our students is the primary concern of the dean of students' office, and not being able to address concerns through already established policies and agreements takes away the effectiveness of what this office can do. According to the students attending the University of Idaho, some described Craig as a person that's willing to go the extra mile, while other students demanded that the former dean of students come out of retirement. Now, according to faculty salaries, the dean makes $196,476 a year. What would make the dean of students resign and give up a job making 6 times the average income? Just prior to his resignation, sanctions were brought up against one of the fraternities for hazing allegations that were dropped. Are these organizations really untouchable? Who's giving them the power to be able to get away with this? On September 2015, Clemson University suspended all fraternity activity after a sophomore named Tucker Hill fell from a bridge to his death during what his parents say was a hazing ritual. Tucker was allegedly forced to jump over the bridge and swim to shore because he didn't bring them McDonald's biscuits. The family filed a lawsuit for $25 million, but only got $250,000 from the school's insurance and had to pay most of that cash in lawyer fees. The vice president of student affairs, Gail DeSabatino, who pushed to have the fraternity activity suspended, was suddenly replaced without explanation. She served as the student affairs vice president for 8 years. In response to her departure, fraternity members on campus sang "Ding Dong, the witch is dead." Clemson's university president said in a statement, "We appreciate Gail's 8 years of service to Clemson and wish her the best in the future." Today, the parents of Tucker Hips is still searching for the truth. When Clemson previously discussed the ban in 2010, Greek alumni allegedly emailed the university saying the suspension would jeopardize donations to the university. They even made similar threats when recent proposals went out to require students to live in residence halls rather than Greek houses. How much are they actually donating to these colleges? Are these same donations influencing these colleges' decisions? Now let's go back to Idaho. Upon checking the Moscow, Idaho police call logs, on the day of the murders, there was a call for a complaint of an unconscious person at 11:56 a.m. However, earlier that day, there were also multiple drug calls within a mile of the home, with even one person blaring loud music and shooting a shotgun. Reports were not taken by MPD for that one. The entire vicinity is surrounded by drugs, frats, and sororities. Why do you guys think it took the roommates 8 hours to call the police? Why didn't they perform the toxicology report on the victims? Especially when the taxi driver said the home is a known drug house and the call logs support this claim. Whatever it is, similar to the other stories that you have heard here, I send my condolences to all of the students who died in this case. There are secrets that are being kept that need to be revealed. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Peace.
Once upon a time, a few years ago, I was in your shoes, didn't think I'd ever know where I belong.